This video demonstrates the study of evolution by automating Hardy-Weinberg Equilibrium with machine learning techniques in TensorFlow and Keras. I am pleased to say that this research paper was presented and published at the 2020 IEEE Conference on Advanced Computing and Communication Technologies for High-Performance Applications, which was conducted virtually from 2nd to 4th of July 2020. Also, the paper was added to the IEEE Explore library on 6 October 2020. Mother Earth is home to an astonishing diversity of species that provide food, medicine, and other infrastructure necessary for the existence of humankind. A stable balance needs to be maintained in the number of each species in an ecosystem. This balance may be disturbed due to the introduction of new species, the sudden death of some species, natural hazards, or man-made causes. Understanding evolution helps us to solve all these biological imbalance that is occurring in the nature. This research work describes a new method that integrates deep learning and ecology by automating an important principle that predicts evolution, termed as the Hardy-Weinberg principle. Here, rather than looking at two parental species, evolution is investigated by looking at the population as a whole. The automation is done using Adam optimization technique. The neural network trained based on Keras and TensorFlow has been deployed using Python for the study of evolution. The developed model was tested with a standard allele frequency database called Alfred to prove the efficiency. Now, let us look into the concept of Hardy-Weinberg principle. The Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium is a principle stating that the genetic variation in a population will remain constant from one generation to the next in the absence of disturbing factors. To estimate the frequency of alleles in a population, we can use the Hardy-Weinberg equation. According to this equation, P represents the frequency of the dominant allele and Q represents the frequency of the recessive allele. For a population to be in genetic equilibrium, the sum of the frequencies of both the alleles is 100%, meaning P plus Q equals 1. Hence, P plus Q the whole square is also equal to 1. The three terms of this binomial expansion indicate the frequencies of three genotypes, P square being the frequency of homozygous dominant, 2pq being the frequency of heterozygous, and q square being the frequency of homozygous recessive. The system is modeled using Adam optimization technique that stands for Adaptive Learning Rate Optimization. The model combines stochastic gradient descent with momentum and root mean square propagation algorithm. The gradient descent method considers the first moment of gradient to find the moving averages, whereas RMS propagation uses second moment of gradient to estimate moving averages. For a random variable x, expectation of x of n represents the nth moment x. The table shows the modeling equations that were derived for gradient descent and RMS prop. The first row represents the moving average of the gradient. It can be clearly noticed that gradient descent uses first moment whereas RMS propagation utilized second moment. The nth moment and expected values of the nth moment were derived as part of the system modeling, and the equations are shown in the second and third row respectively. Therefore, the weight updation for Adam combines both gradient descent and RMS prop. The loss function is defined by root mean square error method. Moving on to the network description, the network is modeled as a supervised training network where a set of inputs and outputs from Alfred database serves as a training data. The dominant allele frequency serves as the input and the corresponding outputs are the frequency of recessive allele, the homozygous dominant, the homozygous recessive, and heterozygous frequencies. Two networks are designed to create the model, the former being a network with two hidden layers and the latter being a network with four hidden layers as shown in the video. TensorFlow's high-level API, tf.keras, is used to build and train the deep learning model. The two networks have been tested with different inputs and compared. The weights calculated at the end of all iteration for both the network is recorded in the table as shown in the video. The mean square error loss function with respect to number of iteration for both the networks are shown now. The two network losses are compared in order to see the efficiency of the network. It is found that the two-layer network shows more oscillatory behavior during the optimization process, whereas oscillatory behavior is less for the four-layer network. Now let us go through the future work and application. This automation basically helps to classify multispectral imagery data for forest reconstruction using drone remote sensing, and this helps to predict the species evolution for maintaining the ecological balance. This automation is also useful for common people and farmers to predict the crop cultivation for the upcoming generations. This automation also gives scientists a mathematical baseline of a non-evolving population to which they can compare evolving populations. I would like to conclude by saying that a new method to integrate ecology and engineering have been developed in the paper that restores ecological balance.